The Battlefield franchise has gone through very many different iterations. We can consider World War I in Battlefield 1, we can consider World War II in previous Battlefield games such as Battlefield 1943. And we could look at games that are in the Battlefield franchise, say Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3. And then you have the cops and robbers idea with Battlefield Hardline. But in this next Battlefield game, Battlefield 5, they say it's going to be World War II. Now, because the Battlefield franchise has changed so much, I think it's time that we bring back a feature that was very prominent in the campaign of Battlefield 2 Modern Combat that came out in the early 2000s. This feature that I'm going to talk about in this video, I think should be coming back to Battlefield 5. Because it's time that the Battlefield franchise not only makes a powerful impact on their multiplayer, but also a memorable impact on their campaign. Battlefield 2 Modern Combat had this awesome feature in the campaign called hot swapping. Those of you that played this game back then will remember when you moved your crosshairs within a certain proximity over your teammate's head, their blue icon would turn white, therefore making you able to switch on the fly to that character by pressing the X button on an Xbox controller, also known as the blue skittle button. There was no such thing as non-playable characters for teammates in Battlefield 2 Modern Combat. I believe this unique feature has become a novelty. I really wish more military shooters would have a similar mechanic because of several different reasons. One of those reasons being, as you can see from this video, switching to different teammates offers limitless fun to the sandbox. Anything can happen at so many different perspectives. It's new every single time you play the same mission. I did have to reset the same mission a couple times because I was getting used to the control scheme and I hadn't played this game for a while. And whenever I reset the same mission, I saw that the enemies weren't necessarily arriving in just a helicopter. Sometimes they would come into a jeep, or sometimes they would bring a tank with them. It was different, and I really liked that. Another reason why military shooter games should have a similar feature to this hot swapping idea is because it just straight up feels much more militarized, as if you can plan your attacks and your teammates' movements on the battlefield. Of course, once you hot swap out of one character and into another, the AI is going to take over that teammate that you hot swapped out of. And the AI in Battlefield 2 Modern Combat isn't really the best, but it doesn't mean that the AI could not have been improved and revised for later Battlefield games. Ooh, look at the accumulation of brass on the ground. I like that. Now, because of this hot swap mechanic, you can see that the campaign levels are built to be very large, just like Battlefield levels should be. I screwed over my teammate there. I hot swapped to a guy that's already on the dock, and I left that guy on the submarine where I just planted explosives. Billy, you better get out of there quickly. Oh, come on, Billy. What a rookie. Oh well. Another reason why military shooter games, especially Battlefield, should bring back this type of mechanic is because it inherently avoids making the campaign feel too linear. Many shooters can feel as if you're being forced down to one path, and while eventually game developers have to force a story and get the player essentially from point A to B, avoiding a linear gameplay style without it being straight up an open world game is critical right now in the year of 2018. As I was replaying Battlefield 2 Modern Combat for this video, a moment of realization came over me. The campaign is being played on normal mode in this video, and it felt challenging enough. And while the missions are designed to essentially place a bunch of good guys and bad guys in one location and say go for it, it did not feel like I was just pointing and clicking, which pointing and clicking is exactly what I felt in Battlefield 1's campaign that was released back in 2016. I know the Battlefield franchise shines their light on their immersive, large-scale, and chaotic multiplayer mode. But as I have said in the past, AAA title games need to take pride in their campaign just like they take pride in their multiplayer. If the next Battlefield game, Battlefield 5, does not have this unique feature in their campaign, well, it's too late to implement it now, because the campaign levels have to be designed a certain way to accommodate all the different teammates that you can hot swap to. but just look how cool this feature is. The many different outcomes that you can have in the campaign levels because of solely this feature is remarkable. And this game came out back in 2005, and playing it nowadays in 2018, the mechanic actually still feels pretty cool. Of course, every game has its quirks and its missteps. This game is no exception, but I do feel as if this kind of mechanic, this feature in the campaign, should be resurrected in the next Battlefield games to come, or for another developer to take control of this type of feature and to make their campaign very memorable and very replayable. I'd love to hear from you if you think this type of feature should come back into some of the next Battlefield games, or maybe any other military shooter games out there. However, I do also understand the fact that sometimes mechanics can just get saturated. One last thing I like to point out is, as I was creating this video, I saw that there were 2 other YouTube creators that posted a video talking about this very game mechanic, and I thought to myself if I should even bother making a video talking about this, and I thought, you know what? We have like hundreds of reaction videos to Battlefield 5's trailer, so we can do with a few videos talking about this type of game mechanic. I look at it this way: the faster this topic gets sourced throughout the gaming community, perhaps the greater chance at the right developers creating a game that has this game mechanic, but refined and even better. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.